Hello, I'm Melissa. Some of you don't know me. I'm also another certified coach on the team. And I am going to talk today about more specifically exactly what is chronic inflammation and how it shows up in our bodies and what exactly is going on when someone's body is a chronic inflammatory state. Okay, so inflammation alone is the body's normal biological response to some type of a trigger. So that trigger can be food, and in our case, that's what we're going to talk about because we're going to talk about an anti-inflammatory diet. But it could be a chemical, it could be environmental toxin, anything like that, and an injury. So an acute inflammation is like the injury, like an ankle sprain, things like that, a broken bone where you'll see a physical swelling because all of the blood is rushing there. Cells are rushing to the area for healing. Because again, inflammation itself, by definition, is a protective immune response for healing, our body's natural way for healing. So, but what happens with chronic inflammation, and that's what we're trying to fix in our bodies before it turns into something else, is when our body is in that alert state, the chronic, over and over and over stressful state of something. There's a trigger. So again, in our case, we're going to talk about changing our diets so that we can figure out which and what is the trigger and remove that from our diets, henceforth decreasing the inflammation in our bodies. Okay, so again, our bodies want to, in general, it heals itself, so we want to remain in a state of homeostasis, like the stable. Something's too high, and then there's another type of blood cell or chemical or hormone in our body that comes to always kind of keep it level, at a level, stable state for us to function, which again is homeostasis. So some of the things that happens with toxic exposure, or again, triggering food, gut health. Gut health is a big thing. You heard of leaky gut. What is that? There could be some type of gut bacteria that now isn't leaving the gut. You can think of, our intestines is like a tube. It's supposed to go in, extract the nutrients that we need, and then we excrete what isn't going to be used. But when it's in the gut and it can't get moved and it remains in there, and then it starts permeating through the lining of the intestines and into our bloodstream, that is also what is an inflammatory response. Okay, and then we have those toxins floating around that's not supposed to be there. So one of the things we can do, if you want to get checked, we're going to do it with food, but another way, like the next level, you can actually get blood drawn to check. We have immune markers and inflammatory markers that will show that your body is in this chronic state. And again, you've heard of how cortisol, because our adrenal gland and cortisol is our our body's natural hormone that is, it's an anti-inflammatory molecule. So that, you can check your cortisol levels also to see if your body is in this alert, stressed state. Okay, and then we lower that again with food, hormone health, and everything. So also just to know, your body how is it going to show up? We could have brain fog, the responses of this have pain, joint pain, fatigue, maybe disruption of sleep, or just your body's uncomfortable. So those are just some specifics of how your body's going to feel when you are in this chronic anti-inflammatory state. So what it is, people don't realize that their body is even going through this. You just think, I'm getting older and, I don't know, wake up in the morning and my back is just achy every day. That's just how it's going to be. But no, we're going to try to, with food, do an anti-inflammatory diet, increasing water, increasing exercise, of course. What else did I want to mention? And just the specific things about just to know too, chronic inflammation leads to other diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, even cancer. Okay, this is the root chronic inflammation is the root of all of these, like, kind of, we've made them like a normalized epidemic of diseases. Like, oh, everyone gets arthritis, everyone gets diabetes at some point, maybe everybody has, cancer. It's just, but it can actually be changed. So you change your lifestyle. If it doesn't get too far, it can actually be reversed. So inflammation can be reversed if we think about it, attack it, and change your diet to an anti-inflammatory diet. Okay? Because it is the root of other diseases. Bye.